Hello and welcome to Win Stupid Prizes, the show where we ask the questions that nobody thought were worth asking. I'm Eddie and I'm joined today by three handsome devils, and they are Jamie.
Oh, hello, I'm more chaotic evil.
Pwal.
I had a shower this morning.
And our judge this episode is Alex.
I've got a small admission. I actually just have lots of hands, so I'm a handsome devil.
Some hands devil. Okay, got you.
Some hands devil, yeah.
This is not the body episode, Alex.
Well, what devilish question have you got for us this episode?
Well, as all of you know, we've just got a new Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah.
So, as you know, the Handsome Devil Incorporated needs to find the next Doctor Who kind of thing to do. So, my question to you is, you've got all of time and space, what villain would you add to Doctor Who?
Oh, given all of time and space, have you heard of a certain Mr. Edward Enigma?
You have all of time and space and you choose a human.
Wait, what's Nigma?
Don't answer that.
No, I want to, though. I want to make the balls joke.
Riddle me this, Batman.
Riddle me this, the Doctor.
What's Nigma, yeah.
Blimey, like 1 minute and we're
already talking about balls. Yeah, that's actually, I'd like to change my answer to Ligma.
The Doctor is defeated immediately.
Oh, no.
Walks straight into it.
Dies from cringe. Doesn't even bother regenerating. Yeah, that's really the Riddler's plan. Anyway, I am talking, of course, about the Riddler, in case you weren't familiar with the Batman villain Edward Nigma, aka the Riddler.
Okay, so how fucked is this Riddler?
How fucked is this Riddler?
Are we having, like, Saturday morning cartoon Riddler, or are we talking he literally beats people to death with a mace?
There's a slight...
Yeah, there are a lot of different versions of the Riddler.
just the Doctor turning up with a sonic screwdriver. It's just like, I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
You're dead now, the Doctor.
Riddle me this, fuck.
You fell for my trap. A gun.
No, that's the end of that's the final trap.
That is his final riddle. Yeah, you may have beaten all my riddles, beaten all my riddles, the Doctor, but can you defeat my final riddle? A gun. Bullets, the ultimate riddle.
So yeah, same question. Is this Jim Carrey? Is this the Riddler who's an online rubbish guy who decides to, bomb the dam? Oh, sorry, spoilers for the latest The Batman.
I haven't seen The Batman. Outrageous.
Is this the one from the, was it Gotham, the TV show, where he works at LAPD? Gotham PD. And, works alongside Commissioner Gordon? Yeah, which one we got?
Or the Arkham series Riddler who just puts, some puzzles in your video game so you got some puzzles to solve.
Oh, yeah, the Collectathon Riddler.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Collect all my orbs, Batman.
Oh, back to balls. Fantastic. Yeah, we're going to have a very ball-focused Riddler, I think. Okay. The main angle I was coming at this from, I can't believe balls is going to be the running bit.
Can you defeat me at a game of pool, Batman?
In this swimming pool.
While I'm in a Zorb. Like, what?
Let's play some lawn bowls. I was thinking of it more from, the puzzle point of view, because the Doctor... So, okay, first of all, about the violence. Doctor Who is a family-friendly show, as far as I'm aware, unless this rebrand is going to be super edgy and I wasn't aware of it.
It seems to be going the other way, to be honest.
Okay, this is a concern. I mean, it's kind of horror-esque, but it is family-friendly horror-esque. It's meant to spook you, not horrify you.
You want family-friendly Saw?
Kinda, yeah. And, the Doctor has a lot of, outsmarting his villains, even when they're being violent, and so I think I would deliberately not make the Riddler super violent. There may be some threats to blow up the dam and stuff, but it's, roundabouts terrorism, rather than actual terrorism.
Yeah.
So it's more gonna be the battle of wits style of Riddler. He's gonna give Batman... Fuck, it's not. He can team up with Batman. The Doctor can team up with Batman.
Oh, God.
The ultimate team up.
Take that one.
I've got one of those coming up.
As one of you pointed out before the recording, it fits the Time Lord naming convention. The Doctor, the Master, the Riddler, the Batman. So it all works.
So it's all the Riddlers. All of the different actors who have played the Riddler in the movies.
Oh my God, that's genius.
He's regenerated.
That's perfect.
There we go, yeah.
Yes.
He's a rogue Time Lord.
Yes, I want that answer. Thank you, Jamie.
He's a rogue Time Lord. That means he can turn up in any setting as well. You don't have to just turn up in Gotham. You can...
Yeah, he can turn up in Pompeii and be like, this volcano is...
His TARDIS is like game show door set up, or like game show gunge pit or whatever they
His
are.
TARDIS is the Monty Hole problem.
That's the joke I was going to make, Alex. You're a genius.
At this point, like, it might as well just be game show based. It's like the Doctor appears and it's like, it's deal or no deal. It's like, the phone rings, we've got your companion, and I've got a mace.
It's another Time Lord. It's the banker.
Oh my word. And it fits in with all the BBC shenanigans that they do. They only have to give away like £250 as prize money as well. It's perfect.
Yeah, they did game shows once with the robot Weakest Link.
Robert Ann Robinson.
Yeah.
Oh, they did. That was a bit, wasn't it?
So happy to do it. Also, you're right that it's a battle of wits. That's very on brand.
So I'm trying to what's going to be like, what has the Riddler done that means the Doctor's going after them? What horrendous crime or mild crime or just pure interest have they done?
Something that I like that I don't think Doctor Who has done enough of, although they did do the Toymaker recently, who I think fits this vibe, is like a threat that can't be dealt with but just pops into the universe occasionally to fuck with the Doctor, basically.
Yeah, the Toymaker was very much like not actually something you can be handled normally.
Yeah, I really like that as a trope. You cannot defeat me, all you can do is delay me.
It's kind of funny because by that sort of tone, you're actually mainly presenting Q from Star Trek in a weird way.
Kind of, yeah.
but more green.
And green spandex, yeah.
I think he does fit more of the master vibes in that he keeps popping up and he is up to some nefarious stuff, but he's also just kind of there to test the Doctor or some, like, you know, I just want a good challenge and you're the only person that's been able to provide it. So I'm going to pop up at various points in time and just fuck with you.
Yeah, that does track with some versions of the Riddler. When you say, like, what's he holding hostage or what's his plan, my brain was like, well, it's the BBC, so he's holding, like, London hostage.
He's holding their budget hostage.
Or Cardiff.
Cardiff, sorry.
Cardiff and the BBC's budget, yeah. So he can be, like, popping up at various points in time and threatening to blow up a dam or holding a town hostage in order to get the Doctor to solve his riddles. Because the Doctor, if he's just like, here's a puzzle, the Doctor's going to be like, there are more important fish to fry right now. Fuck off, Mr. Edward, whatever your name is.
I think it depends on the Doctor and kind of what he's doing, though. Because sometimes he is not too busy to answer a few puzzles and just do that.
This is true.
Or the TARDIS is like, no, you can't leave for reasons.
Yeah, get on with it. Fix this.
Or maybe the Batman just turns up at some point, just shakes the Doctor down like, where is he? Like, who? Where is who? The Riddler.
I'm going to break your knees.
I've turned Cockney for some reason.
I'm not the one. You want a different Time Lord? I was like, no, you're all the same. Batman, are you secretly, like, really racist?
With enough preparation, the Batman can hail the TARDIS, obviously, because he's Batman.
You're right. That is Batman's superpower, just always being prepared.
Yeah.
A Batman crossover would be very funny for the Doctor.
Then you've got probably like the Joker, but yeah. So okay, I like where you're going. I like where you're going with the mental threat, figuring puzzles out, and everything. I've got a more physical, immediate threat thing going on for my first answer. I'm going to set the scene a little bit. Basically, end of an episode, Doctor has rescued some people and is transporting them somewhere else. There's a lot of people on the TARDIS. TARDIS breaks down, and some weird gas like escapes into the TARDIS, and the Doctor gets everyone to climb into these colourful hazmat suits that he's got in a cupboard somewhere, right? And they're all in the TARDIS surviving the hazmat suits.
Yeah, that's lots.
And then slowly, one by one, people start going missing. And then people start accusing each other of, like, oh, I saw X doing this in the cafeteria or whatever, because the crew of the TARDIS have got an impostor among us.
Oh, Jesus.
I want to do a bottle episode with the impostor from Among Us on the TARDIS, all the different rooms of the TARDIS. Supposedly it's a whole thing. And yeah, I think it'd be a very, like, one-off. I don't want an overarching villain. I want a one-off.
That's a really good bottle episode.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they're not killing people. They're just
you have to remove the killing. I think the impostor is like
freezing them or turning them into like
turning them into something or like stunning them, or if you have enough expendables that you've brought on from the previous episode, maybe they can be dying.
Or do you do like the rogue AI, like the rogue ship thing where they're not on the TARDIS but they're on some ship that's like, I won't let you do a thing unless it's only humans on board and one of you isn't a human.
Ooh.
Well, the TARDIS sometimes acts of its own. It could be the TARDIS refuses to continue until the situation is resolved.
Yeah, okay, that would work.
I like the idea of, because the TARDIS is supposedly quite sprawling, you have a bunch of rooms in there we don't normally see, and we get to see them for once.
That's a cute idea. I also like the idea that it's also that everyone gets given these menial tasks as well.
Yes, to like fix the problem.
To fix the TARDIS.
Yeah. I was doing wiring.
I don't know what I'm doing.
There's a countdown timer on the TARDIS as well, in which they have to fix the TARDIS and do all these little bits and bobs and make coffee and whatever to fix the TARDIS, whilst also someone is taking people away.
Like, Randa, who we just picked up, go fix the wiring. They're like, what?
Just connect the colours together, it'll be fine. Would you have it so that one of the characters we meet before they get in the suits is the imposter? Or would you be like, okay, each of you go into your own pod to put the suits on, 10 of them go into a pod and 11 come out the pods?
If no one notices, like if the viewer can notice but none of the characters notice, that could be quite good. My original plan was one of them was an imposter.
Oh, no. I've realised how this works. Mm-hmm. The way this works is that the camera perspective, it's done like
that's good.
So the camera is always done from a first person perspective, and the camera, the audience is the imposter.
That's really good.
That's a really interesting restriction as well, because you have to show only from the imposter's angle, are you saying?
Yes, and it's going to make it a lot more gruesome, I guess, as well.
Well, you don't necessarily have to... Oh, no, I guess, yeah. Well, you can do time skips and stuff and just have people disappearing so that it's not obvious to the audience.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, actually, there's two ways of doing it. There's either following the imposter, and therefore you get to jump between seeing each of the characters in one scene before they're taken out, and you've been shown the gun that's going to go off, but the characters haven't. Or, it's a mystery because everyone's in these things, you can't tell who's who.
Yeah, how do you stop people from just saying, oh, I'm the Doctor, immediately?
Everyone's in colourful hazmat suits where you can't see in the helmets, and so no one trusts everyone.
You can still hear them, and I guess you could have a scene at the start that's like, okay, prove to me you're the Doctor. Oh, I like sonic screwdrivers.
Maybe you can just see, you can tell which one the Doctor is because they're identifiable by voice, but other than that, the rest are slightly garbled on the comms.
Or maybe instead of doing it just from the imposter's point of view, you have it so they don't have voice communication. They don't have, their radios are broken, so they can only point and stuff at each other. But to prevent it from being boring, you view it from different people's perspectives. So you get the Doctor's monologue as he's like, who is this person? Are they here to take me away or whatever? Or are they my companion? Have I accidentally sent my companion into the vent, into the void or whatever?
Have I airlocked my favourite friend?
I can sit from the companion's point of view being like, is this the Doctor? It feels like the Doctor. They seem to know what they're doing. Oh no, they're coming after me with a knife.
So you were thinking of that from the first person perspective, and you hear their thought process. I suddenly went, well, the next stage of that is having talking head scenes. In a documentary.
It turns out it was a game show the whole time.
Just cutaways.
And the Riddler was behind our face.
They're working together. The Riddler and the imposter. Oh no, it fits the naming scheme again. Oh crap.
Are we talking about the Office style cutaways where they're also slagging each other up?
Yes.
Yeah, the Big Brother-esque if they go into the private room with the chair, be like, I did not think that Green was doing the right things in that meeting.
I just really like the imagery of the gas starts leaking and the Doctor just opens a big cupboard and there's just 10 differently coloured hazmat suits. And everyone's like, why have you got those? Why are they different colours? It just shrugs and tells everyone to get in them.
I mean, sometimes the Doctor doesn't really know what's going on with the TARDIS. The TARDIS switches up. So it's just the TARDIS decided that we'll have these hazmat suits. Yeah. It's fine.
You also get the interesting choice of having to pick, if you get down to the final 3 or the final decision or whatever, do you give that to the Doctor and he has to decide whether he's getting rid of the imposter or the companion, or to the companion who has to decide between the Doctor and the imposter. And obviously something will twig and they'll spot something, or they'll just be like, I just had a 50-50 guess. Well done, me.
Airlocked Clara. Whoops.
Well, that's only the 17th time she's died. No big.
Oh, she was the imposter all along.
She was the imposter all along.
Yeah, she was the imposter all along.
Bring back Clara just to make her bad the whole time.
Yeah.
For one episode.
Right, so we've had some family-friendly fun, ignoring macing people, but...
I didn't say that.
But I think we need to do a couple of big threat ones, the things where there's just fuckloads of them.
Okay.
Oh, like the Daleks and the Cybermen.
Yeah, that sort of thing, but I think they're quite constrained. They are unsurprisingly quite robotic. They've got a plan. It's quite obvious what they want. They want to exterminate, or they want to delete, but maybe that's transform. What's the...
It's convert everyone into Cybermen.
It's convert now, there we go.
They say delete still.
I think I can't remember, I'm sure the Doctor has, but just one that's wanton violence. And I think 40k orcs would be a fascinating way of dealing with that problem.
Oh my god.
We're just going even further down the physical threat scale.
Oh, yeah. It's like just somewhere just doing it. Wah! No, hang on a minute. That was more Waluigi.
Yeah, it's a hard one. It's a hard one.
Yeah, it's WAAAAGH. Not 40k orcs, an army of Waluigi.
No, it's a Mario tennis tournament that the Doctor's got to win, and the final boss is Waluigi. Yeah.
Or his partner is Waluigi at doubles tennis.
Oh, that's even better.
Waluigi's a one-episode companion. Waluigi finally got his own game, and it was a Doctor Who spin-off. I think orcs are actually really good because you know the orcs thing of like anything they believe enough becomes true.
Yeah.
That presents both the problem and the solution to the episode for the Doctor.
Yeah, the thing that's funny, because Doctor Who has had one of the worst endings to the season of everything. It's like, oh, and everyone believed in the Doctor enough, so he became less of a tiny gremlin and became normal again.
They de-aged him by believing in him.
Oh, they tried to explain it away.
He's like, I'm 2,000 years old. And orcs go, that's really fucking old. And suddenly he just does the reverse and becomes decrepit.
So you're saying that to beat them, the Doctor has to convince them of something that helps beat them.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Or just make them believe that they want to leave or something, you know.
And they just go somewhere else, yeah.
So to explain that, like orcs have that weird situation where there's millions of them and they believe that if they paint a go faster stripe on a car, it will literally go faster.
Yeah, they have low-level psychic abilities or something.
Like a collective one.
Yeah, exactly. But it needs enough of them to do it.
They literally believe their own gods into existence. That's genius.
I think there could be some sort of like starting up sort of episodes where like the initial scenes before the title screen is just some orcs beating the shit out of a Dalek.
I was thinking that they get into a long, prolonged war with the Sontarans or something like that.
Yes.
Just unwinnable, grueling, like meat grinder of a war with the Sontarans, because that's the 40k style.
Yeah.
As the theme tune keeps going from the ooh, wah.
Oh, that's good.
The thing that I also forgot is that the Doctor has a certain, I don't know, like the wrong word for it is sort of like slight fetishization for the UK. It's like he's got fetishization for Earth, but then he for some reason only goes to the UK to pick up companions.
Yeah.
But then of course all of the orcs have British accents.
Oh, boys.
I mean, yeah, you have picked a British IP, which is lines up.
Maybe he then uses the orcs to defeat a larger threat.
Oh yeah, just points them at the Daleks.
They become his companion.
Or just that the idea in the future is just like, it's like we've travelled somewhere and we found the orcs. It's like, oh my god, what have we found? This is British people, but if you go forward 17 billion years.
40,000, 17 million. Yeah, that makes sense. There's also the bigger on the inside thing. If the orcs just like, that doesn't make any sense. And suddenly it's just regular sized on the inside.
I was going to go the other way. I was going to say that's how they turn up in the Doctor Who story, because obviously they're in the future.
Oh, that's how it works, yeah.
They believe they can get back through time to current day or whatever, and therefore they do. Now they have TARDISes of their own.
Oh my god, they become time travelers.
They make this massive TARDIS.
Yeah, they just summon their own. They just summon their own big psychic TARDIS and appear in modern day. Well, not modern day, because Doctor Who can go forward, but you know what I mean. Like often the thing at threat is modern day London or Cardiff or whatever. So
they also do the Riddler hopping around through time just to fuck with the Doctor thing, but instead of fucking with the Doctor, they're just there to fuck around. We just want to find out.
they just go everywhere by accident. They're not following the Doctor specifically.
They just pop up randomly.
They just turn up
completely arbitrarily
at the same time because group psychic.
Yeah.
To be honest, ignoring it's from the Orcs for a second,
So
an enemy alien who collectively creates a psychic belief that becomes true sounds like the kind of thing that Doctor Who would do.
Yeah, that sounds like a thing that the series is interested in exploring.
I mean, they did with the weird gremlin de-aging, as Paul pointed out.
Yeah.
Re-aging here is very funny, though. This dude's older too.
It's just the idea of just like, oh yes, what have we got? We've got effectively this psychic fungus thing that's wandering around the universe.
They're a fungus, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Oh man, what do you do with that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, they're a fungus and they reproduce by spores, so it's almost impossible to eliminate from a theatre of war if they could spread the spores.
When they die, they return to spore?
Do they just spread them normally, I think? I'm not quite sure.
I think we're getting a bit deep here.
I think we are. But think of the food franchise.
Think of the EA game franchise. Spore.
Oh, Jamie.
Right, just for that, we're moving on. Who's got another idea?
Hey babe, I know I say this a lot, but we really could use your help in getting a few more ears on this bad boy. I'm not suggesting you sully your social feeds with reposts of the episodes, unless you want to, of course. But if you're having a conversation and remember a joke you heard on the podcast, or somehow you learned something from this show, why not just mention, this came up on a podcast I was listening to called Win Stupid Prizes. It only takes a few seconds, and it's honestly little tidbits like that, which is how I get most of my recommendations, so I'd really appreciate it. In fact, and don't tell the other listeners this, but you're my favourite. Paul, I hear what you're saying about we need a bigger threat. Just keep making the threat bigger. And there's a lot of orcs, I get where you're coming from, but what if instead we tried to eliminate half the universe?
We're back to this again.
We're talking about my big purple boy.
Oh, that's what you mean by a bigger threat.
Big in Thanos and the Infinity Stones.
Bigger and purpler.
Bigger and purpler. And because he's purpler, he's sneaky? That's what orcs think? The Doctor does not see it coming. Have you ever seen a purple orc? They haven't.
Pass.
And they use the Orks to get Thanos into the universe from the MCU because they find some Marvel comics and they believe in Thanos enough that Thanos skips across universes.
Oh.
It's all connected, baby. It's all connected. But I genuinely think that the Infinity Stones would make a really good, series-long arc.
Well, they did already.
Yeah, but this is a budget TV show in comparison to a movie series.
But this is on a BBC bootstring budget instead. Each stone having weird powers has potential to make an interesting episode.
Yeah, definitely.
And then at some point the Doctor learns that they are some collective whole, that these objects keep popping up. And it turns out someone else is also collecting them. And they are a big boy threat. And they're purple.
Important.
So the thing that's that's just as a starting one, the time stone, Doctor Who I don't think is consistent with how it deals with its time travel. I'm pretty confident it isn't.
Probably not. It's been going long enough. It almost certainly isn't.
But then the time stone in itself is already quite interesting because that literally reverses time.
It can. It's one of the things it can do.
Yeah.
I mean, it also lets Thanos interact with the Doctor in different parts of the series, right?
Yeah.
If you give Thanos time and space in stone form,
Which is what the TARDIS stands for, yeah.
yeah,
You don't have relative dimensions.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I wonder whether the first time that there's the interaction is Thanos going, one of the stones has to be in this bloody box.
Oh, I see. That would be funny.
Yeah.
Because he's looking for them and is trying to break apart, one of them has to be in here. What do you mean there isn't?
Well, Thanos is supposed to be quite smart and quite wise, so maybe they think that they're friends for the first episode we meet Thanos. He's like, oh, this guy's trying to correct the universe. That sounds like a thing that we want done.
Doctor, I've read his pamphlets.
And then he just rips into the TARDIS like, give me these, I'm out. See? And then the Doctor has to deal with it without a fully functional TARDIS.
I feel that the Doctor could argue Thanos up. So it's your plan of destroying 50% of the world, they're just going to repopulate. It's a rubbish plan. Just trying to convince him to not do it. And then Thanos is like, you're right. And then makes it worse.
Just speed run the endgame argument. Oh, well, you're right. We need a new universe. Got it. Smart one.
Or in the sort of slightly darker arc era where the Doctor realises that at the snap of his fingers he could get rid of every single Dalek that ever existed. Or any single Cyberman that ever existed.
There's questions there.
Oh, they do the Tom Baker thing where he's got these. It's if I put these two wires together, all of Daleks are eliminated forever. But can I do it? Do I have the right or whatever?
Yeah,
There's a scene of that, but you can do it on a bigger scale.
And I lose a hand.
Yeah.
It's also just a very clean way to get a regeneration in if he has to snap his fingers to stop Thanos. Or maybe because Thanos does a second snap to destroy the Infinity Stones, so maybe the Doctor has that realization of the only way to stop this guy is to get rid of the stones, or to stop someone from doing this at some point, to destroy the stones, and so he does a snap just to destroy the stones.
Are you presenting this from the idea that the MCU has not existed? Because so far we've had sort of audience participation. I could also see audience stuff being I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Most Doctor Who episodes are effectively Scooby-Doo, but
One of the companions is I saw this in the cinema.
Yeah, you just lampshade it and you're fine.
Yeah, or maybe we just go down the wooing Lady Death route instead then.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, you don't get Josh Brolin. You have a different Thanos, so the companion can go, hey, you look different, and go that way. Oh, this is a weird retelling that people are aware of.
maybe?
Because we can't have the whole MCU pulled over.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I don't know. We might have the licensing budget for that.
I mean, they're doing multiverse stuff in the MCU now. This is just a different version of the multiverse. This is Earth.
Yeah.
What's a good Doctor Who number? I don't have a Doctor Who number. This is Earth 69.
Earth 420.
This is Earth 69 420, the classic, where Doctor Who is and the MCU are both real.
That's a big licensing deal.
It is a big licensing
Then in the
deal.
next Avengers, they're like, Avengers assemble, and the Doctor appears out of his TARDIS, and it's just in the Avengers
If
now.
Wizards of the Coast can do it, we can do it.
Okay, yeah, just put everything over, yeah.
Just imagine a world without intellectual property. A better world is possible.
On the Avengers, Mickey Mouse, Doctor Who, Popeye the Sailor.
Look, I'm already a Kingdom Hearts fan. You don't have to convince me.
Nice. But yeah, I think it would be a fantastic series-long arc. Do like an episode with each stone and then culminating in some climactic battle of wits or just a regular-ass battle, I suppose, because the MCU is quite violent.
Which brings violence like I did.
Where the Doctor has to wrestle all 6 stones from Thanos. You get a big oily wrestling match between the Doctor and Thanos.
Oh, you should have led with that.
Ending to series, snap happens to set up next series or something. The Doctor dusts and then regenerates and then gets to come back and solve the problem.
Oh, I see. Hang on. Thanos snaps, Doctor regens. Oh.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole like dark series of him having to fix all the problems, which ends up with him finding a solution or something. Or maybe just a 2-parter.
This is the Torchwood spin-off that they get. They get to fix all the problems that the Doctor created.
Oh, yeah.
This fucking guy again.
Right, we've gone too big. I'm going to bring us back down to earth. Like, literally.
Okay.
We're going Victorian England. We're going simple murder mystery story. I would like to present Sherlock Holmes' kind of nemesis, but not quite, Moriarty, not the BBC one.
Oh. Okay.
They could bring the actor if they want, but he's going to be the Victorian England version. We're doing Sherlock in its original setting, basically. And I want to bring Moriarty. It's a battle of wits, a bit like the Riddler was, but I'm more interested in the Doctor trying to solve a murder mystery and the Doctor's one-episode companion being Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, that's interesting. The world's greatest detective and Sherlock Holmes.
And either they're insufferable and can't get on, but by the end of it they realise that they like each other because they respect each other. Or the Sherlock just treats the Doctor as Watson for an episode.
I like that better.
They're both trying to treat each other as the sidekick.
Ooh.
Yeah, they both think each other's the sidekick.
That's really funny.
And they need to work together to solve it.
So this is like a no companion episode.
Yeah, it's like between companions or something, before he's picked up a new one and he turns up in Victorian England.
This will make a great Christmas special, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to go really in on that, you bring in the cast of BBC Sherlock. Because they did an episode of BBC Sherlock where they were the Victorian versions, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was like a dream sequence or something, but yes, they did.
You could bring those actors in, you don't have to. I'm okay. I'm okay with just bringing a more classical Sherlock rather than like a modern one.
Rather than Benedictine Munch Cucumber Patch.
So far, not to get down to the question here, your answer to which villain you want to bring in is Moriarty because you can bring in Sherlock.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
That's fair.
Jamie's come up with 2 banging bottle episodes here. I've got with series-long Sherlock.
Yeah.
I've just got episodes. I took the writing prompt.
No,
and I was like,
it works.
I'm going to write episodes in my head instead of actually giving the answer.
I mean, you could make it a 2-parter and the end of the first part is Sherlock Holmes falling off a waterfall.
And regenerating, obviously.
Oh my god.
Wait, Sherlock is a Time Lord?
Yeah, everyone's a Time Lord at this rate.
The world's greatest detective is his title.
BBC wants to restart the Sherlock series, but now Benedict Bendy Fuck or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Benedict Bendy, fuck, that'll do.
is now too expensive. So they need a way of replacing the character. They can't just do a recasting. Because everything has to be a continuous universe now.
But so Moriarty, I mainly picked him because he's the most known Sherlock villain. Sherlock's like Doctor Who in that so Doctor Who has overarching villains more often, but episodes are separate in their own way.
Yeah, each story is self-contained most of the time.
Yeah, and so we've got Moriarty as the famous named one, but mostly we're solving a murder mystery where the Doctor's turned up and is helping with that. I don't know, is Watson ill? I don't know.
Make it a Christmas episode, you can have Matt Lucas be Watson. That's pretty funny.
So Watson is a doctor, and the Doctor is the Doctor.
Oh.
So potentially, the Doctor is who gets put into the books as Watson.
Where's my doctor? I'm here. Oh, there you are, Watson. That's not my name.
Dr. Watt instead of Doctor Who.
Yeah. Oh, it's very good. I don't actually have an idea of what the murder mystery story is. You probably adapt one of the Sherlock stories.
Yeah, you do one of the many.
I was about to say, it actually gives an opportunity to do one of the weirder ones.
Yeah, you want to do one that people don't know.
Because, I think also the problem is with a lot of Sherlock stuff is that there are some which are relatively sort of competently written. You can see how how a murder mystery comes through. And some of them are just, oh, that's weird.
It's like, oh, the solution, who knows?
And I think that gives an opportunity for those stories to be retold a bit more, because you can go, oh yeah, and there is a fantastical element. Why? Because there's this sci-fi wizard here.
That is true.
Yeah, we're not just doing a study in Scarlet or a scandal in Bohemia, the famous ones.
Yeah.
We're doing one of the other ones because we want to give them a bit of a spotlight, and it also lets people not know the thing and mess it up with the Doctor.
A thing that's been pointed out to me about Sherlock is that though he claims to be about elementary and deduction a lot of the things he does are actually abduction, in which he goes, well, this isn't true, therefore it must have been a snake in the wall. It's like, how the hell did you get to snake in the wall from he wasn't shot or stabbed? What the hell is going on?
This isn't true, therefore it was a time-travelling Time Lord, and it turns out to be the Master going by the name Moriarty.
I think it would be very funny for, like, Sherlock to do this absolute bullshit and accidentally nail it, but the Doctor's like, what the hell? How the hell have you concluded that? There's no way that's true. And then it transpires it is true, and he's like,
Yeah, that's great.
oh my god. His wild guess is actually genius.
He guesses an alien.
It must be aliens. There's no other explanation. There are so many other explanations, but it was actually aliens.
I do like the thing that happened on near the end that, like, the Moriarty is actually the Master running a criminal enterprise in Victorian England.
Oh, that kind of works, yeah.
And so at the end, they kill off Moriarty off some waterfalls, and he just goes off and goes back to being the Master.
And we see him regenerate.
Yeah, we see him regenerate to continue the story.
And we see him regenerate into a Master we know.
Yes,
that'd be
he's
great.
he's a Master from earlier in the sequence of the Masters. There we go, perfect.
Great, bring John Sims back, yeah, for the upteenth time.
Oh, well, we saw him regenerate. We see one of the other ones.
Whatever.
Yeah, one of the no Masters.
We see most of them not regenerate, so that'd be fine.
Yeah.
So I want to take a different angle, because we did all pick villains, that's fair.
Yeah, that was the question.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest weaknesses, perhaps, of the Doctor is that he struggles to deal with problems that arise when there isn't, like, a defined bad guy, per se.
Okay.
So I'm going to present that the Doctor has to deal with Mr. Bean.
I'm sorry, what?
A well-known villain.
Yeah, for a start, hilariously, the TARDIS cannot translate him. So
He's still just doing his mumbles, yep.
yes,
Okay.
still just doing his mumbles. But just the idea that for whatever reason, I don't know, the Doctor lands on Earth and it's like, okay, you can't park the TARDIS here. You now have to go on a speed awareness course and do a, driving awareness exam. And just sat next to him is Mr. Bean, who's not revised. And he wants to help him because he likes helping people. But also this guy is trying to cheat the exam and is equally going to become a menace on the road.
So just capers. You want capers where Mr. Bean's either actively trying to cheat at something or just causing chaos, and the Doctor has to deal with him at multiple different points.
Yes, and I think the thing is that it's the having to resolve the thing without. This is definitely the episode of there is no violence, there is no nothing. It is literally just trying to resolve this person's trying to cheat in an exam. This person is trying to skip the queue at a hospital. This person, and whether it's the way in which Mr. Bean succeeds because the Doctor's just doing things in the background, being like, "What the hell is going on?" Trying to help this bumbling around person. Or, I don't know, maybe the companion for one episode is Rowan Atkinson, but has been befuddled by something and has become Mr. Bean.
And becomes...
So the Doctor's trying to keep this man's life going, even though he's been beanified.
It's been beamed.
The villain has actually beanified him, and so he's like, oh, you were my friend, but now you're just an absolute moron.
You're just a bean.
You're Mr. Bean, I have to keep you alive until this wears off.
I do like now this mental image now. The reason why he's called Mr. Bean is there's been some massive science experiment that means that literally a bean has been replaced the brain of it.
He got beflied, but with a bean.
I thought you were going to say he'd been beamed on the head.
To be fair, that is quite inapt for me.
That's where the phrase comes from, it turns out.
What I want them to traverse time a little bit because he's companioning together. I kind of want cameos from Blackadder in different eras where you have Mr. Bean, or we have Rowan Atkinson in the scene twice. just because we brought him on, we've paid his thing. We're going to put him in some different period costumes, and we're going to have Mr. Bean across time as well.
So there was a comic relief special where Rowan Atkinson played Doctor Who, so that might be been there, done that.
Yes, and it's like the best bit of Doctor Media ever, to be honest.
Oh man, I gotta watch this.
Yeah, it's great.
I'd like the image of Mr. Bean stealing the TARDIS at some point, Doctor being like, oh no, here we go. I don't know how the Doctor keeps up with him in the like hangs onto the doorway or like has a rope that he's like swinging by. They go around, mess around in time a bit, and then Mr. Bean always gets back to the TARDIS first, and the Doctor barely clinging.
Oh my god. God, I've just worked it out. The way that his companion, who's now beanified and is becoming this thing, the main villain is Teddy. It's in the teddy bear.
Oh, Teddy was the villain the whole time. That's devastating for Mr. Bean.
Thinking about Mr. Bean's canon, Mr. Bean is implied to be an alien at some point, right?
In the cartoon, yes.
Yeah. Are we confirming that through Doctor Who?
Or an angel?
I think it's alien.
He gets beamed up by an alien spaceship full of other Mr. Beans.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Or we could do a Clara, or we could meet Mr. Bean, different Mr. Beans in different places.
The impossible bean.
Or he just keeps dying and turning up somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I like it. It's good.
That's just the different episode where it is literally just a spaceship full of beans and Doctor Who ends up on a spaceship. He can't communicate with anyone and they're all beans and it's like,
Convert.
what is going on?
Let's convert everyone to Bean. I mean, sorry, mumble.
An insane image of a series-long bit there where Mr. Bean does steal the TARDIS at some point, and it comes back to the Doctor, either without anyone in it or with Mr. Bean dead inside it. And then he's like, what happened? I have to go and save him. And he just keeps popping up in various other timelines with Mr. Bean just bumbling around and doing something. And maybe he keeps dying or disappearing in all those timelines as well. And the Doctor's like, what the hell is this guy? And that's how you tie in the alien theory or the Time Lord theory.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Bean, just like all the other ones we've done, they're all Time Lords, obviously.
Turns out every villain is a Time Lord.
They're all the master.
Right, been there, done that.
Boom.
You idiot. All right, I'm removing your judge's privileges.
I did already use that one. I'm no longer the judge.
Rowan Atkinsons is the judge now. Get him on the line.
I can feel the end of Sherlock Holmes and seeing Moriarty turn into the master. I think that's a really good one. So I'm going to give it to Sherlock Holmes. And by that, I mean I'm going to give it to Moriarty.
Incredible. You're giving it to the villain that had the least screen time.
The villain that had the least screen time, and there has to be a transformation sequence where someone plummets to their death and splats on the rocks at the bottom.
No, they can just drop off the cliff.
That means they can get an expensive actor for a very small amount of time.
What's the prize?
Oh, yeah, good question.
And so your prize is a stopwatch, which will be right twice a day.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Unless it's 24 hours, in which case once a day.
They could time travel to make it right all the time.
Time traveling a second at a time.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, Anonymous Data Point. I know everyone tells you this, but as a tiny independent outlet, we really do need your support. So if you've enjoyed this stupid episode, please subscribe on whichever platform you're listening on. If you're feeling extra generous, you could rate and review us on Apple and Spotify. 5 stars, please. Or more importantly, you could recommend this show to a friend. Regardless of whether you do any of that, we really appreciate your listenership, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Well, you'll see us anyway. I mean, not see exactly. Nah, you get the idea. Mr. Bean is almost an anagram of master.
What?
Bastard.
I'm trying to figure that one out in my
where
head.
does the B go?
It's got a few extra
master.
letters and it's missing an N. But most of the other ones are in Mr. Bean somewhere.
Or an S and a T?
Mr. You spell out the word Mr.
Mr. Beans.
Oh,
Like, just use the word full word Mr. rather than just MR. M-I-S-T-E-R.
I am Mr. Bean.
It's actually really close.
I am Mr. Bean.
Look, what I'm saying is it's closer than I expected.